This is living proof of Pakistan's terror. This is the second Ajmal Amir Kasab. His name is Usman. He's from Faisalabad in Pakistan. And the question we want you to ask Pakistan, another Kasab, does this not nail Pakistan once and for all? Point your questions at Pakistani generals. Call us at 0120-480-7310. What should India do after this terror attack? Pakistan has been systematically attacking India in 1947, in 1965, in 1971, in Jammu and Kashmir since 1989, in Kargil. Of course, you have a series of terror attacks that Pakistan army and state have been mounting on India. The question is, how should India deal with this threat that comes from Pakistan? Now, let's talk about this terrorist who's been arrested alive. Usman is in his early 20s. He keeps changing his statement. He now claims he's 16. He's calmly answering a volley of questions. His unnerving calm. He's composed. He's cheerful. Usman alias Qasim Khan, not even an hour after his dramatic capture following a bloody attack near Udhampur. Uncanny indifference. The terrorist converses with his captors, nodding, gesturing, turning around to answer questions that are posed to him. A battle-hardened terrorist trained and ready for the worst. There is no panic. He's been arrested by security forces. He could well have been killed, but he's responding to questions. He says, I'm hungry, give me food. Let's listen in to confessions of a terrorist.
जंगल से आज थोड़ी आया तू पाकिस्तान से, कब का निकला है पाकिस्तान से?
कितने दिन हुए? 12 दिन। 12 दिन हो गए। कितने बंदे थे? दो ही थे।
नहीं,
असली बात था कितने थे?
जो छोटे छोटे बच्चे मारे यार, उनका क्या कसूर था? वो क्या करते हैं? आप क्या दुश्मनी है हमारे से, हिंदुस्तान से? से आपको क्या दुश्मनी है? पैसे मिलते हैं आपको, पे मिलती है, सैलरी मिलती है, तो क्यों जा रहा अपनी जिंदगी बर्बाद करते हो आप? अच्छा काम करने से मजा है।
अच्छा काम करो, दिहाड़ी लगाओ, दिहाड़ी लगाओ। दिहाड़ी क्या लगाए? मानना ही मानना है।
We will get you much more on the confessions of a terrorist. I want to quickly bring in India Today's Shuja ul Haq, who joins us from Srinagar. I also want to bring in India Today's Hamza Amir, who joins us live from Islamabad. Shuja, you've constantly been speaking to your sources in the intelligence agencies and the Jammu and Kashmir police. Now, this chap, Usman, he claims there were only 2 terrorists. Security forces believe there were 4. Combing operations still underway. What's the latest?
Well, that's right. As of now, his interrogation is being carried out as we speak. There is a sustained, questioning that is being done by the top officials of Jammu and Kashmir police. There are representatives from Army, Intelligence Bureau, and BSF as well. We've been told that so far the only basic information that has come out is the fact that his name is Usman and he has come from Pakistan. And as you heard him himself saying that they have crossed over just 10-12 days back, and he is also saying that there were only two people in this particular module. But security agencies are not taking any chances because there were apprehensions that there could be more people involved in this attack. They have launched a massive search and cordon operation in that entire area. We are told that the army has put in a lot of men out there, searching those forests. There are members of other security agencies also who are aiding the army in this entire operation out there.
Okay.
So security forces not taking anything to chances, though the militant himself is confessing that there were only 2 people who were part of this attack.
Okay, stay with me, Shuja. What's the latest that we are getting for our viewers just now? Usman is being interrogated by police. He's being interrogated by the police. He's being interrogated by the army and the intelligence. He is at the district police headquarters. We are not giving you the entire location just as yet. The preliminary investigation seems to reveal that he crossed over from Pakistan between a week and 12 days ago. They were staying in Jammu. Last night, they took over a Mahindra vehicle. They took over the vehicle at gunpoint and they reached the Samroli area. Late last night, Usman requested for food, which was provided to him. How should India deal with this situation? This is living proof of Pakistan spreading terror in India. Another Kasab has been arrested that nails Pakistan's lie once and for all. What is it that India should tell Pakistan? And I have Major Ram Mohan who joins me on the broadcast. Major, your views, how should India deal with this situation?
Look, my views are very clear. Pakistan has been saying Azad Kashmir. That means Pakistan recognizes Kashmir as an independent Kashmir, independent of Pakistan, maybe of India. If that is the case, then it's very clear that Kashmir, Azad Kashmir is not yours. You're only saying that it's independent. So how are you claiming an independent country? Number one. Number two, if you recognize Azad Kashmir as an independent country...
You don't forget about Azad Kashmir. There's a terrorist who's been arrested alive. He's nailing Pakistan. Pakistan is spreading terror in India, Major. How should India deal with this situation? We'll go on the strategic issues subsequently. Strictly tactical, India-Pakistan.
Let me come back to the current issue of these people who are coming from the other side. Now, you know, these guys are from Punjab, part of Pakistan. They are not a part of so-called Azad Kashmir or our occupied Kashmir. So how are these people from Punjab province coming to India for what? What are they asking for?
These are terrorists. You know, I also want to quickly bring in Usha Rao from Bengaluru. Usha Rao, what should India be telling Pakistan after the second Kasab is caught alive?
Well, you know, whenever India comes up with solid proof about Pakistan orchestrated terror attacks on India, Pakistan continues to be in permanent denial. And, you know, it turns around and says that they themselves are biggest victims of terror. If these claims are true, then Pakistan must be fully aware of the havoc caused by terrorism, where innocent lives are lost. Now, in spite of this, my question is, why does Pakistan continue to, you know, sponsor terror attacks against India? Does this mean that Pakistan does not want to have friendly relations with India? And does not that country realize that it's in its own interest to have friendly relations with our country?
And that is very clear. That is very clear. At least the Pakistani deep state does not want good relations with India. Rajiv Gupta is calling us from Jaipur. Rajiv, this is the second proof of a Pakistani terrorist being caught alive. What should National Security Advisor Ajit Doval be telling Sartaj Aziz?
So I believe all the diplomatic links with Pakistan should be cancelled, and the train going to Pakistan is useless. And we should call our ambassadors back and close all the links, because this is not done. Because they are doing from years and years and years, and we are on the receiving end always. So this is no solution. Talking to them. No, stop all the links.
As the Prime Minister says, terror and talks cannot happen simultaneously. This is living proof of Pakistan exporting terror to India. Charles calls us from Bengaluru. Charles, your take on a Pakistani terrorist caught alive in a live operation in Jammu and Kashmir.
Correct. This is first of all, your coverage is very good, and the security personnel has acted very fast. And it is disheartening that all the time it happens in the border areas. I have been traveling all over India, particularly last year also I had been to Udhampur, Jammu and Kashmir and so on, just before the election.
You're right.
So the situation now is questionable. Prime Minister of India and all the security agencies, including the Indian Army, particularly situated in Udhampur, they are answerable for all such attacks. It is not only the border security forces being attacked, it is also the Indian Army, the headquarters and the surrounding border areas.
Charles, stay with me for a moment. I'm quickly cutting across to Congress Party spokesperson Randeep Surjewala.
National security is concern of the entire 125 crore people of this country. Modi government's policy on national security has been, for want of a better word, if I may say, opaque. It's unclear. signals continue to emanate that Modi government is soft on terror or is unable to tackle terror in an appropriate fashion and manner. Prime Minister is expected to decide a strong policy on national security in national interest. In his wisdom and in government's wisdom, they can always discuss various issues of national security across the political spectrum. There is no bar. It has been done in the past. It can be done again, but it remains the prerogative of the government.
No, I'm just saying, can you just repeat this in English? The whole thing about whether the upcoming...
And I quickly want to cut across to Ashwini Kumar, who sent a ground report from the place where this Pakistani terrorist Usman was arrested.
ये आतंकवादी को जिंदा गिरफ्तार किया गया है। आप देख रहे हैं कि सामने ये एसओजी के ऑपरेशन हो रहा है और पाकिस्तानी आतंकवादी को पकड़ लिया गया है। ये ऊपर से किस तरह से पकड़ आया है और आप देखिए कि किस तरह से सुरक्षा बल और सब अलर्ट है, पुलिस है, एकदम जिंदा लाया है उसको पकड़ के और सब लोग जो अलर्ट में है। आप देख रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान आतंकवादी उसको ले जाया गया है। ऑपरेशन जिंदा देख रहे हैं कि किस तरह से ऑपरेशन लॉन्च किया गया है और सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस जो है एकदम उसको ले गई है। जिंदा आतंकवादी है। आप देख रहे हैं कि किस तरह से लाया गया है। साफ जाहिर है कि सुरक्षा बल को ये काफी ऑपरेशन था।
India Today Smita Sharma now joins me with the latest. Smita, a Pakistani terrorist caught alive in an operation in Jammu and Kashmir. How does the government intend to deal with this when it comes to India-Pakistan relations?
When it comes to India-Pak relations, Gaurav, there's always that sense of deja vu, be it in terms of infiltrations from across the border or bloodshed, or even in terms of the political role reversals. You just heard Randeep Surjewala expecting Narendra Modi to come up, of course, with a policy that is befitting. But clearly here, NSA Ajit Doval, who has, of course, briefed Prime Minister Modi on the Udhampur attacks. Also, the DG BSF is in Udhampur currently on his way, will be supervising operations on the ground. What the government is also worried about are reports that seem to suggest that there could be some people in the national capital as well. That's why security forces are on high alert. But clearly, there is that pending talk between Sartaj Aziz and Ajit Doval, for which Delhi had proposed the dates of 23rd and 24th of August in Delhi this month itself. That is a proposal that is yet to be confirmed by the Pakistani side. But the Indian government, despite, of course, all its election rhetoric in the build-up to the campaign, now thinks that, there have been instances in the past when they have tried, of course, calling off dialogue, when they have not spoken to Pakistan, but there is always that inevitable international pressure, be it the Americans, the Chinese. We saw that happen, of course, when Obama was here in India on 26th of January. We saw that happen, of course, when that UFA meeting took place between Narendra Modi and Nawaz Sharif as well. And these are the very players which might not actually come all out, travel that extra mile to be of help to India when it comes to, say, trying to sail through a UNSC resolution on Pakistani terrorists like, of course, Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, but they will always expect New Delhi and Islamabad to talk instead of going to war. So I think it is a catch-22.
The option is not just talks of war. That is very clear. There are other options in between talks and war, but are they being exercised? Your sources, how does India intend to take this forward? Are the talks happening on 23rd and 24th? Has Pakistan responded to India's concerns?
Look, as of now, Pakistan has still not responded, but India's, because remember, even during the Gurdaspur terror attacks, the message that was being sent out because at the moment, foreign policy, especially when it comes to Pakistan, remember, it's not being charted out by a Sushma Swaraj in South Bloc. Let's be very clear about it. The architect of, how India should go about in terms of Pakistan is essentially being dealt with the PMO, with Ajit Doval and with Narendra Modi and S. Jaishankar as well playing some part. But they believe, so far they have been arguing that we will not go in for any knee-jerk reaction, and because the very purpose of the upcoming talks is to focus on terror and no other issue, because that is the objective, that is in a way the agenda of the talks. So they might actually think that, if we now have concrete proof, should we go ahead and put it to Islamabad in the form of a dossier again, in the form of live proof again, and let's, try and gauge as to what their reaction is and then go. But, international pressure is something that New Delhi will have to resort to if they want more action here.
Okay, I also want to bring in Hamza Amir from Islamabad. Hamza, a Pakistani terrorist has been caught alive. His confession is on television. He says he is from Faisalabad in Pakistan. Has Pakistan reacted to it? Your sources in the Pakistani state and deep state, what are you picking up?
Well, Gaurav, I've spoken to a lot of people from within the government and also in the foreign ministry. They basically do not want to agree to the fact that he was a Pakistani terrorist. They are still, working on a normal scripted sort of a press release in which they would condemn the attack and they would say Pakistan, as Shrija was rightly saying, or someone else was saying that, Pakistan always comes back to its own, that, we're also hit by terrorism and we're also against it. But what is important in this is that the guy who has been caught, he said he's from Faisalabad. Now, Faisalabad is very close to Lahore and Muridke. Muridke is Hafiz Saeed's den, where he sits and operates. And Faisalabad is also not a very small, very, normal place. It's a very strong hold of Jamaat-ud-Dawa and obviously indirectly Lashkar-e-Toiba operators. So if he's from there, that means that he belongs to the Punjab province, and Punjab province has been a very, very strong hold for Hafiz Saeed and his operators to work from. And, that also highlights the fact that during these times when there have been recruitments being going on, people are still able to pass through the border lines from somewhere. Let it be the working boundary or let it be the Kashmir border.
Spot on there. Somewhere there is a chink in the armor. And Smita, post the Gurdaspur attack, this was the biggest concern. The terrorists had a GPS and the GPS marked locations of where the terrorists started off in Shakargarh in Pakistan, crossed the Ravi River, came into India, went up to NH1A. And the initial intelligence seemed to indicate that there were two groups. They split up. One went to Gurdaspur, the other went missing. So somewhere down the line, there are chinks in our armor that need to be strengthened.
Absolutely, Gaurav. There are, of course, those chinks. And also, for India, perhaps the biggest, in a way, since Mumbai attacks, even while, of course, that entire attack was executed in cold blood with 166 innocent lives lost there, the biggest lesson drawn in from the Mumbai attacks was that at the end of the day, each country to its own when it comes to defending its borders, defending its security, and perhaps those inbuilt mechanisms also in terms of being able to guard your borders, to defend your security is still not strong enough. That's another wake-up call for the Indian authorities here, because you might go back to the dialogue table with Pakistan. You might not play cricket with Pakistan, as has been the case for the last many years now. You might not be letting Pakistani players coming into you. But in terms of, in terms of security mechanisms, yes, you need to charter out a policy as to how you go around with Islamabad in the days to come, and also B, to strengthen your own forces to ensure that nobody is able to infiltrate. Gaurav?
Stay with me. Satyamurthy is a viewer of India Today and he joins us from Bengaluru. Satyamurthy, your take on how should India react now that a Pakistani terrorist has been caught alive? Satyamurthy, can you hear me? I have with me former Director General of Infantry, Lieutenant General Shankar Prasad. General Prasad, usually it's very difficult to get smoking gun evidence, and today India has that smoking gun evidence against Pakistan. How should India deal with Pakistan after this point?
How should India deal with Pakistan? This question is being asked for the last 10-15 years, and the answer is always the same. Today, how to deal with Pakistan, the answer hasn't changed. But what is most important, which I want to tell you, Gaurav, is this, that today we have caught a man who was infiltrated 10-12 days ago. We need to examine this in an immediate future necessity. If you must understand that in and around 15th of August, Pakistan, ISI and terrorist groups want to create a big incident like they've already done one in Gurdaspur. The line of control is active, and yet another one today on the Jammu-Srinagar highway. The important aspect today is not how we're going to react to Pakistan. That indeed is a question which is asked every day, and there are same answers every day. The question that is worrying me today is this, that with this guy alive, we must immediately take actions to see that we locate where the support houses are, where the sleeping cells are, where the logistic bases are, and prevent any such big incident from taking place in the next couple of days in and around the 15th of August. if we are able to prevent any more incidents because of this man having been caught today, because information can be derived from him, because radio set conversations are available, because GPS information is available, we would have achieved a lot. To be able to respond to Pakistan is a very big question. I would also like to add another dimension to it, having left this business of having caught him today and utilizing him today to see that nothing untoward happens or permitted to happen. In this manner, you will not only be able to get him, but neutralize many of the hideouts, many of the logistic bases and safe houses. That's one.
And without fear or favor, the government should go after...
Which was developed yesterday.
The sleeper cells.
And yesterday we got a statement from the director of FIA, and the FIA chap has said that the Mumbai attack was fully supported by Pakistan. Now, this is where I want to tell you something, and this is where I want to tell you that we must make use of this activity right now. We must say that there are a large number of people in Pakistan who oppose terrorism, and we must culture, we must nourish, we must bring them up. Those constituencies in Pakistan who are supportive of anti-terrorism, and from within Pakistan, forces must be created so that the government of Pakistan
on its own start taking action against Pakistan instead of breast beating across the world saying somebody should ostracize Pakistan. India should start taking diplomatic action against Pakistan initially and take punitive strikes as far as Pakistan-sponsored terror is concerned. We'll talk about that in greater detail on the other side of a short break. General Shankar Prasad is with us on the broadcast. A quick break.